Good morning and happy Sunday. Just wanted to share a little bit about another book from my library with everyone. This is a book I've had quite a while, and it's pretty good. So this book is called "The Cloud Dream of the Nine." So this is a 17th century Korean story. So the interesting thing about this book is that it's wrote by a guy. His name was Kim Man Jung. um, he was a scholar, very big into Confucianism in the Joseon dynasty. His brother, his name was Kim Man Gi. He was actually a prime minister, and his daughter, which would be Kim Jung's niece, was actually known as Queen Ingyong. So she was one of the first wife of King Sukjong, which is a pretty well-known king in the Korean Joseon dynasty. So the neat thing about this book is it actually was written by Kim Jung when he was in exile. So after religion had changed, where Confucianism had kind of fallen, their own queen, Queen Incheon, had passed away. So a new queen had been, married to the king. The family had started to see a shift in power. So this family was very powerful. They were known as the Gwansong Kims, which actually is the family of my wife and my sons. So they had about throughout their lineage kings in the Shilla dynasty, as well as a few about five prime ministers and a queen in the Joseon dynasty. So anyway, as this family during this time, as the political tides changed, Kim Man Jung was put on exile. A little bit about his background: he was very close to his mother, and everything he did, he kept her in mind. And in his spare time, he would read her poetry when he wasn't away doing business. So basically, due to their closeness, when he was basically exiled, she took it hard as any mother would. So this book, The Cloud Dream of the Nine, he actually wrote simply for her benefit. He wrote it to keep her happy and to uplift her spirits. So that's kind of cool, I think, because for people that know me, they know that my relationship with my mother is very deep. I really love my mother, and it's kind of cool to see what's now considered a very prominent 17th century piece of Korean literature was actually written by someone who simply wanted nothing more but to put a smile on their mom's face. So I think that's pretty cool. So the story itself is real interesting, though. It definitely talks about some of the things that were going on at that time, as far as the role of women and just different things culturally. You can kind of see it within the story. But the main character, his name is Soyu, and it kind of tells his story of going through a reincarnation. Meeting these different women that were put in his life for different reasons. Um, and I think it's just an interesting story, and it kind of has a few life lessons there. But I don't want to ruin any of it. So that's the synopsis of the story: is that he ended up encountering these eight different women on his path of life, which kind of gives, I guess, meaning to the dream of the nine. It's the eight fairies plus himself being the ninth. And throughout the story, he ended up, I believe, marrying two princesses, and the other six become inadvertently concubines that, basically, I think he learned from, they learned from him as well. Um, but it's a real neat book. It has some, I think, Buddhism behind it, maybe a little bit of Taoism, but I know that in his lifetime, the actual author was more of a Confucian scholar. But for anyone that's interested in Korean literature, Asian literature, 17th century literature, I think it'd be a good one to add to your collection. Again, it's very for me anyway. It really got my imagination pumping just because of some of the things that talk about and some of the just visualizations you would have as you read it. So for those of you who have read it, I would say definitely leave a comment and let me know what you thought about it and what your favorite parts were. Um, but anyway, again, it's called the Cloud Dream of the Nine. It is by Kim Man Jung, who was a top Confucian scholar in the Joseon Dynasty during the 17th century. Have a good day, and thanks for watching.